Like
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, open your windows and call out to your neighbors. It's time for the weekly check-in with John Perrotta and Jessica Leigh, sponsored in part by the Search Committee for Rockin' Joe. It's just another Mido Monday. Oh, we miss Joe. Oh, and now, boys and girls, your hosts, John Perrotta and Jessica Leigh.
Jessica, how you doing?
Well, I miss Rockin' Joe. Where's Rockin' Joe? Now I'm worried about Rockin' Joe.
Well, we haven't had him on yet. I will get him on as a guest.
He's locked in the trunk of Mike's car.
I will get him on as a guest at some point. We're going to get him. We had him once, but then he wanted him to cancel, but we will get Rockin' Joe on.
Yes.
Was that he was supposed to be on the Christmas show?
It might be the last episode that we do before things come back, but we'll get him. We'll get him, Jessica. Now, we started the show in May because Jessica came up with the idea of the weekly check-in. She's a therapist by day, and at night she's a therapist to the comedians. So we started the weekly check-in. It was her idea, and we've been doing it for 8, 9, 10 months, whatever it's been. We've had a lot of fun, and we got some great guests on tonight, Jessica. Besides Mike Cronin, wingman or whatever you want to call him, that starts things off. Besides Mike, we got the very funny man from New Bedford, David Sinclair. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how we doing, John?
I'm doing all right. And then we got a great friend of mine. Not that all of you are not great friends of mine, but I haven't seen this friend of mine in quite a while. I think I last worked with around February at Fody's Tavern in New Hampshire. I heard Greg Bogus book it. And I met her many years ago. We've done shows over the years. She's one of the sweetest girls around. Alana Foden. How you doing, Alana?
Great. So glad to be on the show with all of you. Thank you, John.
Thanks for coming on. We're going to have some laughs. And in Florida, used to do comedy in the early 90s with him and beyond. Mike Thomas. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. As you can tell, I'm from Florida. We drink out of mason jars down here in Florida. Can't throw these away.
What are you drinking, Mike?
This is vodka and ginger ale.
I haven't drank in 4 years. If I go
I'm sorry, and I'll drink one for you. That's all I can tell you.
So, Dave Sinclair, what's going on with you, brother, in New Bedford?
Well, not a whole big bunch. I almost canceled on you tonight, John.
Why is that?
There's a show going on somewhere in Rhode Island. They offered me a spot on the show, and I said I can't. And they said, why? And I said, I didn't tell them because I was doing John's show. Actually, the real reason I declined, I haven't been on stage since August.
Yeah.
And I was just terrified to walk out on stage and be like the Tin Man and the Wizard of Oz,
This was a
totally
live
rusty.
show. This was a
live show. Yeah, it was
a
Funny for Fun show.
A Funny for Fun, a benefit show.
Yeah, and they were doing the whole social distancing, 14 feet away from the stage, and
I didn't know they were starting back up. I didn't know they were starting back up again.
They're doing a few shows here and there. They've got regular customers that come back every year.
Yeah,
and so they're doing shows here and there. But the Comedy Connection's open. I've got tickets to go see Nick Griffin on Saturday. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I'm still staying out of crowds. I'm staying out of everywhere for now. I don't know, Alana, have you done any shows at all since the start of the March, or you like me chilling out?
It would probably be about the same amount of time. I performed in summer for an outside show only, and then a couple of online shows. But it's been really sad. I miss it. I feel like I lost something that I enjoyed so much and took it for granted.
Yeah, I remember doing a show. Lana will come back on this year. I remember doing a show with Alana at the Comedy Connection it was early on when I met you, Stephanie Peters and Colleen McCorley, and you. I get pictures that come up with my memories. That was a fun show. We did a benefit, and that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
So, I'm like you. I haven't been on stage since March 15th, so I'd be. If this comes back eventually, I'll probably host shows and just do 10 minutes, and I don't have to ease my way back. I could never go and headline a gig now in 45 minutes. I wouldn't even put myself in that position because I think I'd last 15 minutes. I don't know, you know.
But wouldn't it be so exciting? It would be the best 15 minutes in the last 10 months. It would be.
Mike's talking out of turn, but what do you got, Mike? When's the last time you were on stage?
Years, John, years.
No, you took a break.
I've been performing at the Walgreens down in the corner, but they don't like stripping in public, so I get in a lot of trouble.
Mike and I had with Mike Cronin and Mike Thomas. We did a lot of shows in the early '90s at Periwinkle's Comedy Club, and the Great Imposter was an Italian restaurant we did for a couple of years, and we had a lot of good times. Probably a little bit too much drinking back then.
A lot of too much of everything.
Yeah, a bit too much of everything, Alon. Mikey, you're in the corner. What do you got? What's going on in your world in North Providence?
I'm a handsome boy. I'm a handsome boy today. I went out, got my hair cut. Shout out to my girl Alicia down at Supercuts, who always makes me look like Brad Pitt's older brother. I tell her all the time, that's the goal. When I leave here, I want to be accosted by women middle-aged up to like early 60s who think that I'm Brad Pitt's older brother. She pulls it off every time. So I'm very excited that I have my new handsome boy haircut today.
You look like you're saying you look like Brad Pitt. Is that what you're saying?
I always tell Alicia, I torture this poor girl. I go in there, and then when I went in the other day, my hair was, I got to go up out of camera here. My hair was like over 6 inches all up on top, piled up. That's how high it was. I can do the buzzes. I can buzz around the sides, the back. I can blend that all in, but I didn't touch the top. So Patty Wood says to me, how long is it on top? So I pulled it way up, took a picture, sent it to her. She's like, you've got to be kidding me, dude. I mean, she told me I look like one of those troll dolls. That's how high it was. So every time I go to see Alicia, I always tell her, the goal, Alicia, is to make me look like Brad Pitt's older brother. Because I'm 62. Brad Pitt is younger than me. I'm assuming he's younger than me. So if I can shoot for his older brother, you know, I'm hitting the mark.
Hey, I was supposed to get a haircut about a week and a half ago. My barber, the best Guatemalan barber in Rhode Island, Leigh, I love him. He usually texts me, calls me on a Sunday night. I said, why is my barber Philippe calling me on a Sunday night? Turns out his two brothers that work with him. I was supposed to go on a Wednesday. I decided to cancel it till Monday so I could go over my daughter's house. They work from home and I can hang with the puppy for a couple hours. I have fun with them. So I canceled it. He calls me the night before I was going to go on the Monday. He was all set, but his two brothers got COVID. The barbershop got closed down, and I'm still waiting to hear from them when they're all set and they clean everything up. So now I'm even nervous to get it. You're going to be nervous to get a haircut.
At least he didn't call you at midnight through Facebook.
I would have answered if it's Philippe.
You see,
If calls me at midnight, I don't answer. But if Philippe calls me at midnight, I'll answer. You know what I mean?
You got to be able to reach out to your friends. That whole song, Reach Out and Touch. So you got to have, see what I have is, I catch a lot of heat for the hours that I call, but you know what? I test the waters. So I called Jessica Leigh at that time. Now I know she's not in my wheelhouse late at night like that. She's sleeping. So now I got to try her again. I got to do a test call at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She picks up. Now I know we're good at 3 o'clock.
Mike, she's watching. She's doing Zoom with patients at 3 in the afternoon. If you want to get on a schedule, it's $50 an hour or more, and we'll get you on with Jessica during the day. At night, you get free. This is free now. Jessica's at that weekly check in
Medicare.
Yeah, that's right.
See, Jessica can Zoom me right in with her clients, and she can say, this is one of my patients. This is Mike Cronin, and I'm going to talk to Mike about before and after. Look at the progress that Mike has made. Look at what a handsome boy Mike is. You too can be just like Mike.
It's not going to happen.
He went to the barbers all by himself this week.
That's right, I did.
Yes.
And he thinks he looks like Brad Pitt.
And I do.
Jessica, what do you think? What do you think so far here on the check-in?
I do. Well, first of all, I also had a hair appointment this week that got canceled because my hairdresser was exposed to COVID. I don't think he had COVID, but I think he was exposed to COVID. So I had to reschedule my hair appointment. So apparently I missed the collective getting the hair done this week thing that was going on. But no, Mike, I think that, you just raised a good point. Like, I think like a lot of people that I work with would be very excited if I said, hey, can I have a comedian come and shadow the appointment?
Absolutely. I'll come right on there.
We got the HIPAA rack, Mike, the HIPAA rack. You can't go on. I signed the HIPAA rack, all these doctors. You can't go on to another patient's appointment unless they have to say yes, right, Jess?
Well, that's unfortunate because sharing equals healing. And I would like to participate. I'd like to feel part of something like that I'm giving back to
I'll
society.
tell you what, Mike, my therapist calls me twice a week. Next Wednesday when he calls, I'm going to tell him you're going to conference in. We'll conference you in and you can listen to me and my therapist. All right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that would be fun. I'd enjoy that.
Now, I know Alana a long time. I don't think she sees it. It's not wrong with seeing it. You don't see a therapist. Like I do.
Oh yeah. This girl's had years of therapies to get to where I am now. Yeah, and I'm still now. I'm on TED Talks, and I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins. The fill your brain with positive because it's a bank account, and some days you have to make a huge withdrawal. And you need those advanced deposits to keep your chin up. And
well, I didn't want to say Alana's been in therapy for years, but I know I've been in therapy since I was like 15 years old. Yeah. My parents couldn't handle me back then, Jess. They brought me to therapy. I remember when I was 15, my friends brought me to therapy. This is crazy, right? I'm in with the therapist. My two friends were nuts. While I'm in with the therapist, they're in the other rooms, the kitchen. They took the coffee pot, the toaster. They robbed the place. Well, I'm in therapy. The guy half his stuff was gone when it came out. And I never heard anything. I mean, the guy's probably still looking for his toaster. I don't know.
Oh, geez. Mine was court ordered.
I think my first therapy appointment, I think I was like 6 years old. I think it was school.
Yeah.
So because I was like acting up in class. So that's how my journey started.
See, that's funny, John. Your parents put you in therapy. I put my parents in therapy.
Nice.
You did?
See how that? No, I didn't. But
I think everybody should go to
I think everybody needs a little therapy in their lives, but
I think my parents knew I needed therapy the day my mom used to drop me off at the Catholic nursery school before kindergarten. I was like 4 years old or whatever I was. And the nuns couldn't handle me. And every day they had, okay, you got to take a nap. It's nap time for 20 minutes, half hour, whatever it was. We all had to be quiet. And I refused to take that. I couldn't. I was incapable of taking a nap. So one day the nuns finally we're going to fix this kid. They had enough of me. They put me in a dress and put me in a crib. I swear to God, my mother, I was the first cross-dresser in Rhode Island. This really happened. My mother comes and picks me up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and she looks over, and I'm crying in a crib in a dress. That's what the nuns, they sued the Catholic Church, all these people. I was the original guy that should have sued the Catholic Church. Think about it. I was a cross-dresser. I'm 4 years old. I'm out of my mind. I could have got some money along, I think. What do you think?
John, that story explains so much.
So much.
Yeah. You went to private school, though, so your family had money. I went to public school.
No, I went to public school from kindergarten on, but my grandmother worked at the nursery school for the nuns. She cooked there. So they said, oh, put him there for the summer.
They didn't like you.
No, it wasn't a good idea. Me and the nuns, we kind of didn't hit it off. They didn't like a little bratty Italian kid.
I went to a Catholic school for 9 years. It did not help. And talking about parents, you know what my mother did to me? So I have 4 brothers and sisters, so 5 of us all together. They would move out of the house, and my mother would not change their bedroom. The furniture would stay the same. Everything in the bedroom would stay the same for years. I mean, when my mother and father moved out of their house 20 years after people left, my brother's bedroom, my sister's bedroom, exactly the same. I moved out at 27 years old, probably one of the latest ones to move out. 2 weeks after I moved out, there's a contractor there tearing up my bedroom. She had kept everybody's bedroom the same except mine. And I was like, I was a little like put back. I'm like, oh my God, like you didn't even wait 2 weeks. And it was about 6 weeks that went by, and she pulled me aside finally, and she could tell, like, I was upset. Like everybody, she's like, I knew all of your brothers and sisters were going to come back at one point in time. And they did. And it was important to have their bedrooms. She said, I knew when you left, you were never coming back. And I said, you could have told me that when I left. Because I'm telling you, like 6 weeks, I was like, I had a complex. I was like, I couldn't believe it. She didn't tell me the contractor was coming, nothing. I walked in and I knew the contractor. He was a friend of mine who didn't tell me. And I walked in and I'm like, my bedroom is gone. Totally ripped it out. So, Jessica, I need some therapy.
You should have got into therapy then. Right, Jess?
Oh.
I think I saw my therapist this week.
Went downhill after that.
Mike Thomas, your story reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Failure to Launch.
Yeah.
When Matthew McConaughey finally moves out and Terry Bradshaw turns his bedroom into the naked room. Remember
That's
that?
awesome.
Oh my goodness gracious. That was so funny.
It is. When my father finally died and the house was empty, my sister's bedroom was exactly the way she left it 20 years ago when she had left. Her furniture was still in there, everything. Not my room.
Jeez.
Unbelievable.
How about Dave Sinclair? No, you're not. I know Dave for a while. I don't think Dave's ever been in therapy. Have you, Dave?
No, I haven't been in therapy. Therapy when I was a kid was my father yelling at me and telling me going outside to play. I said, can I come home when the street light comes on? He said, no.
He said, stay out of the house.
Stay out there.
That's why Dave's in the basement right now.
You get cold, sleep with the dog.
That's why Dave's in the basement right now with a flashlight pointing at him.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm sitting under the sink.
Dave, they called that tough love.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
it's called tough love. Yeah.
Yep. What's going on in New Hampshire, Alana? I haven't been out there since I did Fody's Tavern. I had a ball. I did Fody's Tavern. Alana, Greg Bogus booked it, and I met Nick LaBouffe and Holly Johnson, and I stayed until Nick helped me do some videotape to fuel my show. They're great kids, you know. That was a fun night. I made a couple of new friends, younger comedians, and that was a fun night. I had a good time. Small crowd, intimate, and they were on fire. That was a good crowd.
Yeah, I love my rooms. You know, they have the low ceilings and the laughter just bounces off the wall. And I'm very fortunate that I'm local, so I kind of grew up here. So I already had a built-in customer base from Athena's. And I miss it because I cross-pollinated my comedy with my Athena's, so I could give comedy coupons to my customers and then give my comedy customers discounts to my products. And essentially, COVID put me out of 2 self-employed businesses that I never saw it coming. And learning to improvise, adapt, overcome, remember to love, and have the fun. That's my mantra and that's my theme. But the struggle's real. It's been a tough year. My beloved cat I had to put down, and my dad's been in the hospital since the 1st. And I knew 2021 was still going to be a lot of the same, but I didn't expect additional hardships on top of, you know. Yeah.
It was already tough enough, and then you get added with your cat passing away, and your dad in the hospital. It's I kind of knew 2021 it's going to be a while before things come back. Maybe the fall, but I think when people can really come on and laugh, and we don't have to worry, and we can have full capacity, that's probably going to be 2022. I mean, this year probably eventually we touching the water. You know, we'll be doing some, but I don't think it's going to be really till next year. That's my opinion. I don't know. I predicted last year in March last year, everybody was saying, "Oh, we'll be back in a couple of months." It's like the flu. And by April, I told everybody this year's gone. A lot of my friends know that. So it'll be back in 3 months. I said, this year's gone. And I don't like to predict things. I wish I was wrong, but the year was gone. All my rooms, one of my rooms, Spirito's Restaurant, great room, 200 people. We did 4 shows a year. They closed, and Dave and Greg Spirito, great. The 2 brothers ran it. They were awesome. They closed, and 2 of the other places I booked, they were only open for takeout. they're not even open yet. Never mind do a show, they're not even open. So I think this year I'm hoping to fall just to get our feet wet again and some shows. Well, I mean, some guys are doing shows now, and good luck to them. But I mean, me personally, I mean, I don't think it's safe for me. You know what I mean? I mean, I got my wife who's had a double lung transplant, got health issues. I don't feel comfortable. If it was just me, maybe I don't feel comfortable going up to a crowd of 30, 40, 50 people and then coming home with the virus and
Right.
she'll be in a lot of trouble, So I'm more on the very cautious end. Some people I know on the other side, but I've had 3 friends pass away from COVID in the last 5 weeks.
I'm so
Wow.
sorry.
Yeah,
I
51,
lost 2.
62, and 72. Dave knows one of them. Tommy Richards was a comedian from New Bedford, a real nice guy. So I take COVID serious. And some people really don't take it serious, but I take it serious,
My daughter I told you before we started recording, my daughter came home. She goes to school down in Boca, which is like 3 hours away. And she had to come home. She got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And on the way home, one of her friends called her, who she saw on Sunday, and said her boyfriend who lives with her tested positive for COVID. And she's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, you have to go get tested before you come home. I mean, you have to. I said, I'm sorry, you drove 3 hours. You got to go wait another probably an hour, hour and a half. But, you gotta get tested. So she actually went, and while she was waiting for her appointment, the girlfriend called back and said, we went and took rapid tests and they came back negative now. So he got 1 positive test, then he gets a negative test. So I said, just sit, wait for your test. Thankfully, she was negative, but it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Everybody's on edge. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm on edge anyway. Everybody's kind of.
Yeah. My daughter's very concerned. She's a very concerned 21-year-old. Most 21-year-olds are like, yeah, I'll be fine. She's like, I don't want to get you sick. And I'm like, well, I mean, we've been seeing some people too. We might get you sick. She's like, I got a better chance of living through this. And I was like, whoa, what the hell are you saying? I'm like, what am I old? But it's scary. It is a scary thing.
Mike, I knew you in 1990. You're old now. We're old.
I know. But I'm telling you, I told you this before. I think I had it back in January of 2020. I was so sick. I worked for Disney. I was in meetings with people that just come back from China. They were at Shanghai Disney, and I was so sick. In fact, I had a memory come up on my phone. January 24th of 2020, I had been to the doctor. It was the 3rd time. And the doctor said to me, you have something, but I don't know what it is. They said, you don't have bronchitis. They said, but you got something in your lungs. They gave me a breathing treatment. They gave me steroids. They gave me all kinds of stuff. And I mean, I couldn't sleep laying down. I had to sleep, inclined. So I'm telling you, I had it. I had to have. And I think my daughter had it. So it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing.
I know Dave just went through it. He got through it. He did pretty well, but you had it there for.
Yeah, I had it for about 2.5 weeks. It was basically like the flu, except for the fatigue part. Just no energy. Get up in the morning, take a shower, shave, and all you want to do is go back to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
Thank God
really
you got through it. You got through it all right. Yeah.
You need to come out from underneath that sink now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not taking any chances. This is where I'm staying. Domino's delivers here, so.
Yeah.
I know Mike's been careful. I've been careful. I'm sure everybody's been as careful as they can be, but like Mike goes to church every Sunday. He hasn't been going to church. He hasn't. I mean, I used to go out to eat, go to a movie, like besides my comedy. So I was on the run all the time. I haven't been to a movie since this went down. I haven't been out to eat. I get takeout, curbside pickup. I don't go in bars. I haven't been in any groups of people in 10 months now, whatever it's been. And God, knock on wood, I haven't had it. But I've heard of people that you go in a supermarket or do something like that, and they wind up getting it. So
yeah, you should come down to Florida.
No, I won't be coming.
It's a complete shit show down here.
Nah.
It's crazy.
I heard a lot of them don't even wear their masks, right?
No, they don't wear their masks, and and they, a lot of rednecks down in the South. They listen. We don't need any of those damn face diapers down here. We're okay. Everything's open. You just, it's crazy. It's crazy. Everything is open. Everything.
Yeah. Well, Rhode Island's been the governor here. Some people don't like the businesses because
I think she's doing a great job.
Yeah, some people like her, some don't. She's took a job with the Biden administration.
Yep.
She'll be gone soon, but she
take the governor with the worst economy in the country and put them in charge of commerce.
Yeah, she closed a lot of businesses.
Nothing political there. Nothing political.
Yeah, a lot of the businesses are not happy with her.
Could be worse. Down in Florida, the governor he said to all the professional sports teams, "You can fill your stadiums to capacity. You make the choice. But if you want to put 60,000 people in a stadium, you can go ahead and do that."
That's Ron DeSantis, right?
He's Republican.
Now, thankfully, the sports teams have said we're going to hold it back to 20%, 15%, or whatever. And some of them haven't had fans at all. But he all of them, you can fill it up.
Is that what they're doing for the Super Bowl? It's going to be at 20% capacity?
It's some kind of capacity. I think it seats like 60,000. I think they're going to let like 15 or 20 in. And I think they're giving away, from what I understood, they're giving away about 7,500 tickets to frontline workers who have been vaccinated already.
That's awesome.
So the frontline workers who have gotten both shots, they're giving them the seats.
Nice.
But I mean, I get a thing. I don't know if it's because I bought tickets to the Tampa Bay Stadium. It was like I got a thing that said, "Purchase your Super Bowl tickets package now." So I'm like, let me click on it. Let me look. It's like $9,000 a person.
Oh, there's only
Per person.
15,000 tickets, of course.
Yeah, I think that's what the tickets are anyway. Like in the past, they've been that. You'd think they'd lower it a little bit just because of the pandemic or whatever, but it's crazy.
That's why everybody's buying GameStop.
Yeah, exactly.
GameStop stock now. Drive the price up so they can make enough money to buy a Super Bowl ticket.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
That's a small little game store I used to bring my kid to. I don't understand people. The stock went from like $45 to like $350.
Well, you know why that happened. You know why that happened, right? So they were going to close GameStop. And then there was a certain group of people that went on Reddit.com or Reddit or whatever it is and formed a group to say, buy that stock. Everybody bought the stock. Everybody kept buying the stock. And it's screwing over the hedge fund people who were looking forward to that sale and everything else. They've been going in and purchasing all that stock now and driven the price up. And today it dropped because the companies those people used removed them and said, well, you're not doing it right, so we're going to remove them. And people are pissed. It dropped like $11 million, I think, today.
Yeah. No, they dropped those people off to protect their buddies in the hedge funds who were doing short sales, who were basically going in and buying it on future. So they go in. If you saw the movie Trading Places, they did the hedge fund people are doing exactly the same thing. They're going in and they're saying, hey, Mike, I will sell this stock to you for $14 a share. Then they sit back and wait 2 weeks till it drops to 12. Then they buy it at 12 and then send you your shares for the 14.
Right, exactly. And
these guys screwed them over by driving the price to $350 a share. And now they're losing their shirts because they have to buy it at a high price, sell it to the people they sold it the low price to.
Johnny,
Robin Hood, everybody else shut it down so that the wealthy hedge funders don't their summer homes.
Right. Yeah.
Never got into the stock market. I was in rehab. One of my rehab stints, Alana, back in the 80s, because I was an occasional social drinker. So they said you better go away for 30 days. So I did go to rehab.
Didn't I? I think I dropped you off and waited in the car with a 6-pack, right?
Yeah. I remember meeting a guy. He went in there for a drink. I remember meeting a guy that he lost his house in the stock market. He was so out of his mind. He went into a bar and he chainsawed the bar in half. I never forgot this guy. over the stock market. He lost his house, chainsawed a bar in half, and I don't know. I never got into the stocks.
All because of Joseph Malacone.
Yeah, I never got into stocks. And anybody else, Alana, you get into stocks or you're not into stocks?
I was looking into that app, Acorn, where your spare change goes towards buying stocks and you can learn it. And I was considering investing in Tony Robbins, teach you to play the stock market. But other than my 401k at work, no, I'm not as knowledgeable as I'd like to be. I think real estate's where it's at. Like my next investment will be to buy another property. I'd like a 2-family, or I'd like someday to have an Airbnb. It's a great resource of income, and I'm going to clean anyways, and
Yeah.
I want to kind of take care of my own financial future, and that's something I know.
Yeah. I had 2 houses in 1990. Jess, I was on a fast track. I had a 3-family I grew up in, ordered for my parents, remodeled that. Then I had a colonial house, bought that. We were married. Everything's going great. And then I decided, well, I'll have a cocktail. That shouldn't hurt things. And a few years later, I had about 5 or 6 different divorce lawyers. I gave her the 2 houses. We got divorced. Years later, she got sick. I come back. I remarried her. And now I live in the house I gave her, which is now her house. It's not my house. And if God forbid she goes before me, it's in a trust for my kids. So she could pass before me, and my kids could evict me.
Your kids could be the landlord.
It'd be my landlord. If something happened to her, my kids could evict and say, you know what? We're evicting you.
They'll be knocking on your basement window at 1 a.m.
Yeah,
John, you gotta go.
Mike dropped me off one night, and a little while later, I heard somebody knock. I look up and scared the hell out of me. He's in my basement window, looking in, banging on the window.
What?
I think
Mike.
Janet was with me too, right?
Yeah.
We were both looking in the window. Yeah.
They were looking at my cellar window. Jess, what do you make of somebody that does that?
Well, I mean, Mike lit up a cigarette in the middle of the chat, so I think he's looking for attention.
Yeah, we've been trying to get Mike to quit smoking. He said January 1st he was going to do it, and he keeps moving up that.
Oh, no,
He didn't. In his defense, he didn't say what year.
Yeah.
What can we do to get Mike to quit smoking? Anybody got any advice for Mike?
All I know is I think. Go ahead, Alana.
Sorry, 12 years smoke free. 13 this August 31st.
Wow, awesome.
That is
How did you
awesome,
do it?
Alana.
You got any tips you can give Mike?
Yeah, I decided that for a long time I had the belief that I couldn't live without smoking. I couldn't imagine, what do I have after a meal? What's my reward? What's my treat? I don't want to get fat. And then I just did like kind of a mind shift and started imagining myself as a non-smoker. I didn't want to give away my power. And what happened was I'd quit on a Monday or January 1st and tell all my friends and enroll them for support. And then come Tuesday, I'd smoke and feel like a loser, and it was eroding my self-esteem. And then I just put my stake in the ground and said, enough, I no longer smoke. And I spent probably like a good 14 days in the bathtub. Because if you're wet, you're not smoking. And I got through it. And then I just kept counting it. They say it takes 21 days to make a habit. And so my first goal was to make it 21 days, and then it was to make it 3 months, and then it was to make it 6 months, and then a year. And I still celebrate it. It was the toughest, biggest thing I ever did. But I can't imagine now letting a cigarette have more power over me to make me go outside in the rain and to do that to my lungs. And I want to get older gracefully, and I want to be able to do things. My mom took up rollerblading at 50. She took up skiing at 60, and she got her master's degree. Like, I want to live a long time and be with my family and do stuff,
Alana, God bless you. That is fantastic. I'm sitting here wondering, who is the therapist, Jessica or Alana? Jessica, I hope you're taking notes, because it's good stuff.
That is good.
Oh, thanks.
I'm telling you, it's good stuff. It's
Yeah.
Mike, I hope you wrote down some notes on that.
Jess
still-
quit
the
smoking
micro-
too, right?
Look,
did. Yeah, I quit.
look at, he's about to take a nice big drag. Look at Mike taking that. Oh yeah.
Hold on,
I
Jess.
gotta,
Jess,
I gotta.
Jess quit smoking too, right, Jess?
Yeah,
Good.
I quit smoking about, I think it was 3 years ago.
So what do you got?
No.
You got any advice for Mike?
Yeah, so it was very similar to actually what Alana was talking about. Basically, my style of what I did though is like I started to feel guilty about it, like more and more and more, and it started to like really weigh on me that I was smoking. So basically, what I did was I got a tip from another therapist actually who was like keep smoking and keep making yourself uncomfortable, like keep researching it, don't put like a quit date or anything like that like at the forefront of your mind. Just like keep researching it and make it hard on yourself. Smoke cigarettes that you don't like, make it so you can't smoke in your car, go and smoke in like places that you're uncomfortable. So I did that and I made it like as uncomfortable as possible. And then one day I was smoking a cigarette like in a parking lot, like in the rain, no umbrella or anything, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm done. And like I just ended up being done. But like when you're thinking about like all of those things of like, how am I going to do? Because I smoked for 15 years. I started when I was like 13. And I remember like being a teenager and going like above and beyond to get cigarettes, like above and beyond to the point where it was like ridiculous. Like I would build my entire day around like, who can buy me a pack of butts, and it was like ridiculous, but so I never pictured myself really being able to quit. And like, you take a shower, you want to go out and smoke a cigarette. Then you want to go and take a shower because you smoked a cigarette. And then you eat something and then you got to go smoke a cigarette. And then it's before you eat something, you want to go smoke a cigarette. And it's literally associated with every single thing that you do. So it's the hardest thing to quit. So it really is a lot of mindfulness, like training, Mike, of like, and you've got to have that like level of like willingness. We could do some motivational interviewing if you'd like to find out.
Motivational interviewing. That's interesting. I'll tell you, I was drawn to Alana right away. Drawn to Alana right away. She said a phrase that when I woke up this morning, I never thought I'd hear. Cross-pollinate.
Oh.
I'm going to use that tomorrow. I'm going to talk to someone tomorrow. I'm going to say, well, what you got to do is just cross-pollinate. That's all you got to do. Cross-pollinate. I'm going to use that phrase tomorrow.
Here's another one for you. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs pounds.
Wow. This girl is deep.
Wow, John, that really hit home with John. He was like, wow.
Alana is deep. We might have to give Alana her own show night.
Yeah.
Alana is deep. I'm telling you,
Alana
she's
is
deep.
deep. But did you notice that Mike totally changed the subject? So we don't
Yeah, he did.
quitting
I was
smoking.
going to say that. I don't think Mike is at that point yet.
No.
Yeah, he's
Pre-contemplation.
yeah, it's
yeah, pre-contemplation. That was
Did you-
good though.
Michael got there though, but he's just, I don't think he's
Yes.
there. I mean, I think everybody's dealt with addiction at some point in time in their life.
Yeah.
And
Did you ever
I think,
smoke? Mike, did you ever smoke?
no, my whole, let me tell you, 5 kids, 2 parents, family of 7, everybody smoked but me. We're talking about cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
My
no.
mom and dad, 4 packs a day, 2 packs
Oh, yeah.
each.
I mean, I remember running down to the
Never
liquor
touched
store when
it.
I was
Never
a kid.
touched it. Yeah.
Give me cigarettes. It disgusted me. I never, and even when I was a teenager, I can still remember to this day, because it's been years since I was a teenager, let's face it. But I remember dating a girl who smoked, and it's like kissing an ashtray. It disgusted me. I just didn't want anything to do with that. It was, and it was, I was the one of 7, a family of 7. I was the only one that never smoked.
Sorry to disappoint you, Mike, but Mike won't be kissing you.
Oh, that's too bad. How do you know he hasn't already?
Dave, you ever
How
smoked?
do you know he hasn't already?
I did. I quit smoking 28 years ago.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Basically, I was 2 packs a day. I grew up in a house like you, Mike, with smokers. So I'd been smoking via secondhand smoke since I was born.
Yep.
And my youngest son was diagnosed with asthma. I threw the cigarettes in the trash. I called my doctor. I got the patch. The patch had just come out at the time. and haven't picked up a cigarette since.
Yeah.
But I will say that quitting smoking is the hardest thing I've ever done in my
Me
entire
too.
life.
Me too.
I got violently ill after I quit smoking, and I went to the doctors, and the doctor said, I'm going to put you in on a dirty little secret. He said, smoking actually prevents you from getting flus. He said, airborne illnesses, when you smoke, your lungs are coated in tar and nicotine. And he said, airborne illnesses have trouble getting through that muck in your lungs to get into your bloodstream.
Oh my God, that's how we solved COVID. Everybody stopped smoking.
Everybody
Stop
stopped smoking.
Everybody smoke.
So when because of this whole lifetime of buildup, once the lungs started clearing out, I didn't have any of the antibodies. So I just got one flu after another, just a constant influx of the
It's
flu.
interesting
and I was
that you
sick
say
for
that.
a solid year.
Yeah.
I read an article early on in COVID that said smokers may have an upper leg on COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably do.
Very interesting.
So I guess you can kiss Mike.
There you
Yeah.
go.
How
There
do
you
you know
go.
he hasn't already? Again,
There you go.
we could have done that years ago. You don't know that. We could have, but you know how my mother did it? My mother smoked for 30 years, probably 30 or 40 years. My brother smoked for probably 15, 20 years. They went to a hypnotist.
Oh, yeah.
That's what my sister did, the Mad Russian.
That-
Yep,
Yeah,
it
I went
worked.
to him.
It worked for them,
You
Mike?
work for him?
My sister
I-
went to a hypnotist too. She still smokes, but she thinks she's a chicken.
Oh, shit, that's funny.
That's brilliant.
We're trying to give you advice here, Mike. Now, I
You know,
I quit
I
drinking.
know one day I will. I'll quit smoking, you know, and it's probably going to be soon. I'll just do it one day without setting a date. You know, I smoke like maybe a pack a day. I'm an adrenaline smoker. If I
One of
want
the
to
hardest
a
things-
week.
Two of the hardest things I ever had to quit: drinking. I love drinking, and gambling. I grew up. My friend's father was a bookie. I was 14. We started betting $10 on football games. By the time I was 17, I lost $1,000 in a week, which I didn't have. The bookie came to my house. My father had to meet with the bookie and tell him, why are you taking bets from the kid? He's 17 years old. And they worked out a deal. We had to pay $500. I had a loan at 17, $40 a month for gambling. I gambled on and off my whole life till 4 years ago. And I stopped everything but scratch tickets. I was spending $300 a month on scratch tickets. And one day my friend said to me, I told him I spent $300 a month, $400 a month on scratch tickets. To me, that was good because I used to go lose $1,000 at the casino. And he told me, just stop buying them. And I looked at him and a bell went off in my head. That's all I have to do. Don't buy them and I'm not going to gamble. It was so simple. But I stopped buying the lottery tickets and I can't scratch them if I don't have them. And now I don't even want anything to do with gambling and the drinking too. It's all, the philosophy is one day at a time. You get up that morning and you just say, today, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to gamble. I'm not going to smoke, whatever you're trying to quit. Tomorrow I'll smoke 10 packs, but till midnight tonight when I go to bed, I'm not going to smoke. And that's the philosophy because I've been in therapy and everything. And I use that one day. If I told you I was never going to drink or gamble again, I'd be lying to you. I could never do that.
And
If
in
I
the
say I'm
words
not going to gamble or drink today, I can do it. You know.
in the words of Johnny P, but this heroin is kicking my ass.
That's in my act, but I never did
I
that. I
know.
forgot my act. You like Alon, I totally forgot my. If I had to get on stage now, I'd be like,
John, that's very true. Honest to God, because I haven't done it in so long. I moved to Florida almost 8 years ago. I did it right up until I moved to Florida, and I really haven't done comedy since. And I do miss it. But every once in a while, like I'll be at work or I'll be having a conversation and somebody will say something. And all of a sudden a joke will pop out in my head that I used to do. And I'll be like, God, I haven't thought about that joke in forever. You forget about some of the things you've done over the years. And you're like, it's funny. It just pops in.
I'm gonna have to look at videos of my act. I don't know if I come
Hey,
back.
the last time I was on, we tried doing a tribute to you and everybody impersonated your act. We were trying to help you out.
I had six guys and they were all imitating me. It was crazy.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Brother, hey,
Crazy
brother, how you
episode.
doing tonight, brother?
I could do that, brother. I could do a job. I could do that.
It was-
That'd be good.
6 guys, one after the other, imitating me. It was like crazy.
You know what's funny is,
My
Two of
Italian
us were eating
accent.
meatballs
You know-
with our fingers.
but what's so funny about John's act is, so when I first met John, it was like 1990, God, 1991, 92,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. And John's act has evolved into just, picking on the crowd and doing what he did best. And, and you put up that video of you back in like 91, I think it was, and you talked about Joseph Malacone and all that. That thing, it brought back so many memories because I had forgotten that you did that. And when I first met you, you were doing that stuff. And when I saw that, I was like, shit, that was so funny.
Joe Malacone was a banker, Alana, and it stole a lot of money, took off, lived in Utah, and they finally
only in Rhode Island, though.
Yeah,
he
he
left
finally
like half the people. He left half the people in Rhode Island bankrupt.
Yeah, he
Like
finally
he closed down the banks in Rhode Island.
all the
yeah.
banks closed. There was a banking crisis. Funny part was when I worked in the prison, I had Joe Malacone. So, and he was he was an inmate, but he was a decent guy. He screwed a bunch of people money.
Millions of dollars.
One day I'm in the hallway. This is kind of crazy. Now, Joe Malacone stole millions and millions of dollars. He's going through the metal detector. I stopped him. I said, Joe, why are you going through that metal detector? And he looked at me all puzzled. He said, what do you mean, officer? I got to go through the metal detector. I said, Joe, that thing doesn't pick up cash money. He died laughing. There's a guy that stole 30, 40 million, whatever he stole. And he's looking at me, then I hit him and he just started laughing. And he had to laugh. What are you going to do?
Didn't they find him in like another country? Wasn't he in
He
another?
was in Utah.
Oh, Utah. All right.
And then-
That's
and then
another
he-
country. Utah's
years-
another country.
And years after that, when he got out of prison finally, I'm at my dry cleaner. I get in my car. I'm sitting there doing something for a minute, and there's a knock on the window. I roll the window down. Some old guy. I didn't know who he was. He said, do you remember me? I said, nah. He said, Joe Malacone.
Wow.
The funny part is, Alana, I used to have in my act, I used to do political stuff when I started. And Joe Malacone was huge in the news. He took off. He took all this money. So I actually had bought, the Ken and Bobby dolls. I bought a Ken doll. I painted the hair black, painted a mustache. I had literally a Joe Malacone doll. I made like a 5-minute bit on this doll. And then I wound up in prison with.
Ilani, he's got it on Facebook. He's got it on YouTube. Go on YouTube. There's it's like Periwinkle's 1991 or something. I'm telling you, it brought back a lot of memories for me.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. This has been a fun show. We got a few more minutes. Mike, what do you think?
He's like on Facebook over there or something. I don't know what he's doing.
We've given you advice on how to quit smoking. You got to think of any of this advice or what?
He's making his next hair appointment.
Well, no, I'm not making my next hair appointment. But what I was doing was that I was looking for a smoking cessation group on Facebook. No.
Oh shit!
No, I wasn't. I had a friend that was texting me. So
You have to tell that friend during the Zoom show, no text or allowed.
I know, right?
Mike, I'm telling you, with that microphone, Mike, I still feel like I should be giving confession. It looks like you got a priest collar on. I went to a
Catholic up here. Boom.
I went to Catholic school for 9 years. I feel like I'm lower it a little bit now, so I can see the little collar there. There you go, the priest collar. I feel like I'm in.
Text your friend back and tell him the panel is upset that they texted you during a Zoom show.
Mike, what you should do.
Girl, I wanted to see if she would come on.
Mike, that's what I was going to say. Text her the password of the meeting ID. I want to talk to this girl. What is this girl texting you for?
Bring her right in. Bring her right in. Bang! Super fans, just come right in. Bang!
The show's over, Mike. We got to wrap it up soon. The show's over.
It's over. Come on.
John, it's probably the one girl who thinks he looks like what's his name? Brad Pitt's brother. Yeah. Probably some blind girl down the street.
No one thinks that.
We-
No one thinks that.
We've covered a lot of things tonight. We kind of told out, gave Mike some advice about the smoke, and hopefully I've been trying to help him with that. So hopefully
We
he'll take
don't
some
know
of our
enough about
advice.
Alana. I don't know nearly enough about Alana. I don't know what her top 3 sitcoms are. I don't know what her top 3 favorite movies are. You don't know if she enjoys horror movies. I hope that she doesn't.
Alana,
We don't know if
we-
Alana is single, married, boyfriended up. We don't know
Alana.
enough about Alana.
well, one
Alana.
quick question I gotta ask: you like horror movies, Alana? Because we talk about
No,
that sometimes.
I do not like horror movies.
You've never
I
seen The
knew-
Shining? You've never seen The Shining with Jack Nicholson?
I read the book.
You read the book.
Well, I imagine that's like way scary.
Alana, stay away from Mike. I'm just telling you.
Mike wants to know all your info. The show's over. We'll have to have her on again to find
You
out.
gotta have her on again. We didn't find out. Our viewers at home are gonna say, "Who is Alana?"
She's a-
Cross-pollinated, but what? We need to
She's-
know more.
She's a
Alana.
great, beautiful friend of mine from New Hampshire that I worked with many times through the years, and we asked her to come on. We don't want to scare the heck out of her, Mike. She'll never come back on again.
I
Alana.
love the turtleneck sweater she's wearing. I mean, we could have got into fashion here.
Mike lives in New Hampshire. She's got to wear a turtleneck. It's like she's got like 40 inches of stuff.
17 degrees, guys.
Yeah, she's got to wear a
17
turtleneck.
degrees.
Mike, we'll give you one question for Alana. Think of what question you want to ask. You got one question. We got to wrap, buddy.
Alana, here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Your top 3 favorite sitcoms of all time, past and current.
The Office, Friends, and Scrubs.
There you go.
Big mistake, Alana. Big mistake.
Now,
Doesn't
now
like
Alana,
horror
check this out. This is a true story. Years ago, I spent my career in the car business. I'm retired now. So
Remember, it's a wrap almost.
I had
Don't
this
go to a
girl.
15-minute story.
I had
Told
this
you, big
girl,
mistake.
I had
If
this
you
girl
want to tell long
working for
stories,
me,
stop taking cigarette breaks.
Yes.
and she says to me
Yes.
one day, "You are the real life Michael Scott." I said, "Who's Michael Scott?" She said, "From The Office." I said, "What office?" She goes, "Dude, you don't know The Office Michael Scott?" I said, "No." "Are they local?" "Yeah, I'm being serious." So she tells me. So I go home, I find it, get it all DVR'd, and I watch it. So I come into work after I watch it. I'm like, "Melissa, Michael Scott is a total buffoon. He's a bumbling idiot. You're telling me I'm the real life Michael Scott?" And she said, "You are. You don't understand. You're just like him. You deliver these stratospheric numbers on this dealership every day, but you're the real life Michael Scott." And I was like, I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not. I just don't know.
Believe it or not,
It's a step up. It's a compliment.
I gotta watch The Office. I never believe it. I watched a little here or there. I'm into the old time sitcoms, like Me TV. I watch all the old stuff. I don't like a lot of the new. I don't even watch it.
Funny story about The Office. We're on a plane. It's me, my wife, my daughter. We're on a plane. I don't know where we were flying. There's TV on the plane. My wife does this. She starts watching The Office. She's never seen it before in her life. I've seen The Office. I know it's funny. About 20 minutes into the episode, the plane is completely quiet. There's my wife. The whole plane turned around and looked at her. I went, "Oh my God, what is the matter?" She said, "Oh, was I loud?" I'm like, "Were you loud?" Everybody stood up to look at her. Like she was in the back of the plane and she's laughing with these headphones. I'm like, you can't watch that on a plane with your headphones on. Like she did it like 2 or 3 more times. I said, "You can't watch The Office on the plane anymore." Come, I thought we were going to get thrown off. I'm telling you.
And on that note, we got to wrap this. Dave Sinclair, we'll be here till 4 in the morning, Alana, if we don't do this. Dave Sinclair, what are you going to say to wrap it up in New Bedford, brother?
It's been fun once again. Thank you guys for having me on. A lot of fun, John, as always. Everybody stay safe. Hopefully we'll all be back on stage again real soon.
Yeah, I can understand why you didn't take that gig tonight because we haven't been on stage. It's kind of scary, really. somebody
is.
says, "Hey, come on stage," when you don't want to go up there and start fudging your screwing your
And start
lines up.
sounding like an open micer.
Yeah. So I
You
mean,
know, and
I
we're
take
gonna have to
offense to that.
ease our way back into this, Dave. When we
yeah,
get
well, that's
back, you
just
know.
it. I got to go to Pub on Park and do a bunch of sets there. We got to get Mikey B's up and running again and do a bunch of
Yeah.
sets there. Then we'll try and do it for realsies.
That's what we're gonna
Have a
do.
little
We're gonna
spring
do.
training, and then we'll play the real games.
We're gonna have to do the open mics and ease our way back in. That I've been thinking about. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Lana, loved having you on. I definitely want to have you on again. You're one of my great friends in comedy
Oh,
through the
I
years, and
appreciate you so much.
always enjoyed your company. You're one of the nicest people in the business. What do you got to say to wrap it up? And your first time on the Zoom check-in here.
Oh, I enjoyed myself. I didn't know what to expect, but to close, keep on loving, keep on laughing, and remember, all of us need each of us, and each of us need all of us. And thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. I so appreciate you, John.
All right, you're the bomb, Alana. Thanks for coming on. We love you, Mikey Thomas. You outspoken son of a gun. What are you gonna say to wrap it up?
Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Thought I was expecting son of a. Wow. I just hope stripping comes back, because in the local parking lot, I can't really make. What are you laughing at, Alana? What the hell is that?
Coming back at Walgreens.
I mean, come on. Hello. You can only make a few dollars at Walgreens, and a lot of it's change, and it's hard to carry change around. That's all I'm saying, especially in a thought.
I remember, Mike, when you had the leather coat, big bushy hair.
Oh yeah, I was really cool back then.
You were cool.
It was in my 20s. I was, I had the Harley out in front. Now look at me.
You look good, Mike. You look good.
Oh yeah, I look good. I look like I ate my younger self, but I look good.
Thanks for coming on, Mike. We love having you on. You're not of your
Love
mind.
you too, brother.
Mike Cronin, what are you gonna say? I know you're
Wait,
gonna say.
can I just make one more note? Mike, you should probably get a different hairdresser. That's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
Mike, we've counseled you a part of the show tonight. I hope you took it in. What are you gonna say to wrap it up, Mike?
I am humbled and honored to be a part
Every
of
time.
this esteemed panel tonight. I'm going to give Alana a test call at 12:01 to see, maybe she can be an early morning chat buddy. She might pick up. She might say, hey, you know what? Let's talk about my top 3 movies. So I'm going to give that a shot. All kidding aside, it was great to be on the show tonight. Alana, it was great meeting you. Cross-pollinate. I'm definitely going to be using that phrase. Would you call it a phrase? I'm going to be using that. Mike Thomas, man, love you. I just have to take one look at Mike Thomas and I feel good already. He has a joyful face. He's so much fun. He hasn't changed over the years whatsoever. Jessica, love you. We've had so much fun on these shows.
Prayer.
Dave Sinclair. I love Dave Sinclair's quiet presence. Dave has a big cranium. You know that everything you're saying, this guy's got like an eidetic memory. He's just coming right back. I'm telling you, brother, when you take to the stage, that comedic muscle memory is going to flex for you and flex hard. Alana, I know that you mentioned earlier that you've gone through a tough season. I pray God's favor over you. I pray that you feel the loving, comforting presence of Jesus Christ. And I pray for all watching and all on the panel tonight. Lean into God, and God will lean right back into you. He's going to see us through this. We're going to be back on stage, making people laugh, getting back to life as we know it. We lift up Terry, John's wife. We know right now she's got some challenges. We're believing for a healing there. Thanks for having me on, John. I love you with all my heart, buddy. So tomorrow, John, I'm calling you. So now, see, I test the waters with John tomorrow. I got away with a 6:30 call this morning. Tomorrow, I push the envelope. I try him at 6 o'clock.
I'll be sleeping, you bastard. Don't call me at 6 o'clock.
And I'll be sleeping at midnight. I got work tomorrow.
She's sleeping at
all
midnight.
right.
Don't call her at midnight. Don't call me at 6. Call it normal hours, you son of a gun.
I bet if I call Mike Thomas at 12:01 a.m., he's picking up.
Let me tell you, I just messaged you on Messenger. So
I see it.
But a final wrap. She started this whole mess in May. Jessica Leigh, what are you going to say to wrap it up? You're the therapist.
she's a mess. She's a mess. She's
What are
a
you
mess.
thinking, Jess?
Yes, I am. It's full moon. So my energy is elsewhere. I'm completely exhausted. But it was so good to see everybody. I started this mess and I don't know if I know what I'm doing still. We've been doing this for almost a year. But it's so good. I love doing this every week. It's keeping me sane. It's so good to see everybody. And we're gonna get Mike to his contemplation stage of quitting smoking tonight.
I hope so.
Contemplation, even some provocative behavior when he lit up that cigarette. A little bit of I can't speak.
It's
I
easy
can't
for
speak.
you.
I can't talk, but we're gonna get you there, and then we're gonna get you to a place where you are embracing your new self, like Alana was talking about.
So I'm gonna cross pollinate.
Yes. Yes. That's it.
And we also, we also still
Don't
gotta
get him going again.
we've got to put a concerted effort
over.
together. We got to find Rock and Joe. I think we
show's
should all
over.
sing in harmony. It's just another Mighty Monday.
The
Oh,
show is over.
we miss Joe. Oh.
I'd like to thank everybody, Crazy Mike Corona for coming on, Dave Sinclair, my co-host every Thursday, Jessica Leigh, the weekly check-in, the founder of the weekly check-in. She did it. She did this mess. Anybody has a problem with it, call Jess. Alana, great seeing you again. We'll
Great
have you on
seeing
again.
you.
I love you. A great guest. Everybody was great. But it was great having you on for the first time. We'll definitely have you back. And if you want to come back.
I'd love to come back. I need this.
Yeah, we'll have you. It's fun. Well, it's good. It's good therapy for the comedians. That's why we do the weekly check-in. Mike Thomas, God bless you. We love you. I want to thank everybody for coming on, and we'll see you all soon. Stay healthy, stay out of trouble, which isn't easy for me, but I try. And I'll see you guys soon.
God bless everybody.